What is up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy Motor City Don PM. We're back here once again. You already know what it is when you see me in front of TV. One thing's for certain, three things are for sure. Number one, the Motor City Cats are indeed back at it. Number two, we came to give you stats and not none of that static. And number three, perhaps the most important number of them all, number three, we want to make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And you may be asking yourself, or me for that matter, how, Don, how, Mr. P, does one keep their Lions news pragmatic? Well, it's very simple, and I'm glad you asked. You must smash like button, you must subscribe, and you must share. You must smash like button, you must subscribe, and you must share, and everything be airy. You know what I mean? And sharing is indeed caring. So once you've shared this with your mothers, your brothers, your uncles, your cousins, your sisters, your aunties, your nephews, your neighbors, your mothers, your brothers, your uncles, you name it. You name it. You have indeed cared about those people. Now, I know I did say that I wouldn't be here today, but I've got one thing to say in my defense. In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground. No, I'm just playing. I'm playing. Hashtag, if you know, use the hashtag. No, so I be grinding. And sometimes when you're on the grind, the days run together. So I was thinking that it was a different day than what it actually was, right? I was thinking tomorrow was Friday to yesterday. Or no, I was thinking tomorrow was Thursday yesterday. And that's not actually possible. So that's why I said I wouldn't be here today, but I'm here today and you are in for a treat. Because today we have some major BS to talk about. And I know we talked about it before, and I almost was going to pull up a clip featuring me talking about it, but I thought that was pretty douchey. So I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that because I know someone who probably would do that, and I don't want to be like that guy. So let's see if I got the audio here. All right. All right. Let's see. Let's see what the audio looking like. Okay. So as we know, and everybody knows that Dan Campbell was asked the question about what happened. Okay. He was asked the question about the call that came down from on high about Jared Goff's touchdown being called back. Let me get just this part in case you haven't heard the audio. 1 second. All right, so I'm just trying to go through and find where they were talking about it. Because he's already talking about the play. Let me see if I can find exactly what it was. Hold on. Anyway, I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I couldn't really find it. But basically, Dan Campbell went on the flagship. He went on 97, won the ticket, and they asked him about the situation with the play call with the Jared Goff play that it took a minute and a half, 90 seconds for the referees to throw the flag and to say that it was an illegal formation or illegal motion or whatever have you. And then they asked him about it, and he said, did you get told by an official that it came from New York? Dan Campbell reluctantly said, yeah. Right? He was very despondent. He was very, lackluster, and he sounded like he was grieving. Okay, he sounded like he was grieving, and he just said, yeah. So someone told them this. Now, I did say this before, so everyone is kind of coming on this now, pause, but I said this the day after the game when I was giving my assertions, and I said, because it was an unreviewable play, and they're talking about, they had a conference or whatever the case may be. I said, no, this came from New York, because I believe Troy Aikman, Joe Buck, one of them. No, it wasn't. It was Chris Collins. Sorry. Chris Collinsworth, Mike Tirico. One of them said something about they received a call from New York. And it was inadvertent, and I don't think everybody caught it on the broadcast. So when I was talking about it the next day, I said, this play was unreviewable. So while it was whatever the call was, if you agree with the call, if you disagree with the call, if they got the call right, if they got the call wrong, what is the implication for future NFL games where you cannot review a penalty? Because remember, I said, if New York is going to start reviewing penalties with replay assist, then they should have started with that pass interference from the Chiefs-Jags game, where they awarded the Chiefs an interception after tackling, after blocking, after blindsiding the Jaguars wide receiver before the interception occurred. The receiver that was supposed to be in that area to catch the football was literally taken out. Okay, it was a double team. One of the Chiefs defenders took him out. The other one got the interception. Why didn't we review that? If we're going to now be reviewing penalties, which are unreviewable, if we're going to do that with replay assist, which is illegal, what is the implication for the NFL? Now everyone is catching up to it and realizing, because it took a whole 90 seconds after the touchdown for them to throw a flag, that it was reviewable. So now the things are coming up about, it's they file their taxes as an entertainment league or as an entertainment entity, and they're not really classified as a league, and so on and so forth, and that's fine. Okay. Now the calls are, is the NFL rigged? We've been saying this for years. We've been saying this for years, that the NFL is rigged. Now that we have a little bit of confirmation that it is rigged for certain teams. I don't think that the NFL cares about what happens between the Lions and the Bears. I don't think the NFL cares about what happens. Well, they may care about what happened between the Lions and the Packers. Why? Because the Packers just got Micah Parsons. And how did the NFL get, and how did the Packers just get Micah Parsons? Well, it was fishy. It was under some fishy circumstances, right? Because why in the hell would Jerry Jones send Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers of all teams? Why would you help a so-called contender get better and contend better? It was the same situation that Mike Tomlin was talking about, but however, it's the Browns and they're not contenders. But he was like, why would you trade a quarterback? Not a backup, not a scrub, a guy that you thought enough about to make him your day one starter, why would you trade him within your division to a team who was your division rival who is struggling at the position because they lost their quarterback for 3 months and they want to try to stay afloat to win the division and try to make the playoffs? Why would you do that? It doesn't make sense. What up, though, Tactical Sport? What up, though, Mr. Detroit City? There are certain games that the NFL cares about. Lions and the Chiefs, they cared about it. And it was more so, I don't believe that it was the Lions, but the Lions were it was a perfect storm. It was a perfect opportunity for them to screw the Lions yet again, because they've been screwing the Lions for years. They've been screwing the Lions for actual literal years. Here's the thing that pisses me off. Chiefs fans are now in our mentions. They're following the Lions, the Detroit Lions official Twitter account. They're commenting on, why are you in here, bruh? We're not rivals. We are not in the NFC, the AFC. We are not in your division. We're not in your conference, as I just said. Why are you in here? Trolling. Right? Skip Bayless. Gots to respect Skip Bayless. I know everybody hates Skip Bayless, but you must respect him. You know why you must respect him? Because when the Dallas Cowboys were gifted a game by Brad Allen and the NFL, Skip Bayless, the biggest Dallas Cowboys fan that there is, got on his platform and told you right after the game, the Lions got screwed. So if you're going to be a fan of another team, bro, at least just be honest. Be honest with it. That's all. That's all. If at some point in time ever in the history of the Lions, had they ever gotten the benefit of the doubt, or had they ever gotten the benefit of a call that was shaky and it could have gone either way, or downright just missed call, like we don't get the benefit of anything as far as the referees officiating and all these other things. If we ever got the benefit of something and it led to us winning, I, for one, would tell you, yeah, we got the benefit of it, but we did get the dub. Am I going to then be trolling you? No. For what? Because I know that we got the benefit of something that we shouldn't have gotten the benefit of, and it helped us. It led to us beating your team. We got preferential treatment, and because of that preferential treatment, we beat your team. I'm not going to troll you, because it was outside forces that allowed us to beat your team. Does that make any sense? Right? So I'm glad there are no Chiefs fans coming into my stream. I've just seen them on Twitter just commenting on Lions PR posts and Detroit Lions official posts, and like, why are you doing what is your purpose? Who are y'all playing next? Go over there. Go over there. What up, though, Brandy Coffee? She says, hey, everyone, go Lions. Go Lions indeed, Brandy Coffee. Hey to you too. But yes, is the NFL rigged? Certainly. When we were watching the Chiefs game, if you guys were watching it, anybody that was here, okay, and there's people, come on now, there's people watching. There's a lot of people watching, ain't chatting. Come on in and chat. Let your opinion be heard. If you were watching the game with me and they showed Taylor Swift on the screen the first time, and there were some reactions, and I'd said, if you don't understand at this point that they are showing Taylor Swift on the screen for monetary benefit, then you don't understand the NFL. Football fans don't give two damns about Taylor Swift. They're not showing Taylor Swift to you. They're not showing Taylor Swift to you, Mr. Detroit City. They're not showing Taylor Swift to you, Tactical Sport. They are not showing Taylor Swift to you, Mr. Morale. They are not showing Taylor Swift to any of you football fans. They are showing Taylor Swift to the Swifties, because Taylor Swift controls a significant market. And the NFL, their job is to make money. That is why it is a multi-billion-dollar enterprise, because they are good at making money. Yes. So they've tapped into the Taylor Swift thing. I don't know if this was a plant. I don't know if there was a negotiation to have a relationship between Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. I don't know how it came about. I wasn't in the room. I wasn't in the DMs. I don't know how. But all I do know is that there is a relationship and there will be a marriage, apparently, between Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. And there are opinions about who's taking whose last name. Okay. Travis Swift does have kind of a nice ring to it. Taylor Kelce is not going to happen. It's not. Okay. So that's not going to happen. However, whether it was manufactured or whether it came together naturally, the NFL is monetizing it. That's what they do with their product. They monetize everything, which is why when they show Taylor Swift on the screen, you shouldn't even be mad, because it's not for you. Right? You shouldn't be mad because it's not for you. That's like if you are at home and your wife cooks two separate meals. Your kids have this favorite food that you don't like, and then she cooks a meal for you. Eat your meal and don't worry about what she cooked for the kids, because that's not for you. Right? Now, I could understand if she cooked that meal for the kids that you don't like and you ain't had nothing to eat. I could understand you being upset then. But as long as you got your thing to eat, which for the football fans is football, who cares about Taylor Swift? So when we see Taylor Swift on the screen, she's on the screen for monetary purposes. That's all. She's on the screen for the Swifties. 15-year-old to 25, 30-year-old women and girls who would never have watched the NFL at all. Big market, spend lots of money, buy lots of Travis Kelce jerseys because their favorite, that's their favorite person in the world, who they worship, star, who they worship's husband. Okay, like a lot of them have shrines to Taylor Swift that they prostrate to, you know what I'm saying, in their basements or in their closets, right? I can 1,000% guarantee. I'm not a gambling man. I don't bet, but I can 1,000% guarantee you that I can find one Swiftie who has a walk-in closet, and in the back of this walk-in closet there is a shrine dedicated to Taylor Swift, who she prays to and she prostrates to every night before bed and every morning after she wakes up. I can 1,000% bet you this would happen. I would be a rich man if you took the bet. All right, let's see what we got going on here. The NFL owes us a game, not a call, but they won't give us a game, right? They won't give us a game. It's not going to happen. The NFL was asked about this by Dave Burkett if they had any comment or if they wanted to clear up anything about what Dan Campbell pulled back. He pulled back the curtain on the situation. And they said that they had no comment. And basically they stood with the referee, who said in the pool report that this did not come down from New York. I've never seen a conference, my friends. I've never seen a conference between referees that occurred 90 seconds after a touchdown. I've never seen it, because it doesn't happen. Because the referees didn't have a problem with the play on the field. You know what I wish? You know what I wish? I wish Jared Goff had dropped that pass, because we wouldn't have to be dealing with this. We can't do anything about it. Ain't nobody going to boycott the NFL. Ain't nobody going to stop watching the NFL. And the NFL knows that. So they don't really have to clean anything up. All right. Vincent Soames says, unfortunately, Lions fans alone won't change anything. This needs to be a full fan base to result in them losing money and see decline. And that's the point. That will not happen. Okay? One thing that I know about people is that it's hard to get a group of people together to sacrifice something very small to benefit themselves on the whole. Because most people are out for themselves. Right? Most people are out for themselves. If you ask someone, let's say that you work for a company. Okay? And everybody that works for this company also does the same job for another company. And if you say company A is mistreating me more than company B, let's all get together from company A and strike and not do that job. But then we can go to company B and still work. And we're not giving up any wages. And all we're doing is sticking it to company A. We are hurting them. We are taking billions of dollars out of their pocket by not going to work for a week. Hell, we're taking hundreds of millions for not going one day, 24 hours. We're all going to miss work that day, and they won't be able to make any money. And then that is going to result in us getting a $20 per hour raise. Let's say $50 per hour, okay? Nobody's going to do it. Nobody's going to do it. There will be people that will do it, but there will be people that will cross the picket lines, and they will make money for that company. We see it all the time. So, yes, this is correct, but no, it will not happen. It just won't. And this needs to be more noticed to prevent games being rigged furthermore in the future. Listen, as long as Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback, here's the thing, okay? I hate this man with a passion. I don't even say his name. Labum Samaj. Okay? Labum Samaj is a French athlete. Y'all know Labum Samaj? He's very French. He's black. Okay, shout out if you know, use the hashtag. So Labum Samaj is a player who has gone to Diddy parties, who was never investigated, who has a steroid scandal and was never investigated, all because the NBA needed somebody after Michael Jordan. And they needed someone that they could drive all of this media, all of this attention, and as a result, all of this money to have a debate. Is this person better, or is it Michael Jordan? Is Michael Jordan the GOAT, or is this bum the GOAT? That is a narrative driven by the NBA because it keeps their league relevant. The NFL now has Patrick Mahomes, who is challenging Tom Brady for the greatest of all time. It keeps excitement. It keeps interest. It keeps money flowing. It keeps the TV contracts getting bigger and bigger every single year. It keeps the salary cap rising and rising every single year. This is why the NFL does what they do, right? So as long as Patrick Mahomes is with the Chiefs, this is going to happen. Guys, remember, the Chiefs had not gone to the Super Bowl in 50 years before Patrick Mahomes. 50 years. The Chiefs were like the Lions. They were a trash ass organization that nobody cared about. They weren't getting calls when Trent Green was the quarterback of the Chiefs. They weren't getting calls when Matt Schaub was the quarterback of the Chiefs. They weren't getting calls when Alex Smith was the quarterback of the Chiefs. It's Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid together winning all of these Super Bowls. And you go, wow, this is who we are going to hitch our wagon to. It's very simple. You just got to follow the money. That's all it is. It's very simple. All right. And I'm getting to all of y'all comments. I will, but I'm answering them individually. At the end of the day, the NFL is a business. Facts. Taylor brings in money. Facts. The more Taylor Swift is on screen, the better for business. Facts. All facts. No cap. Take this off. I'm talking about all facts, no cap. Having the Chiefs at 2-4 directly affects the bottom line. Facts. Tactical gets it. All of it. Pause. Unfortunately, the Lions were collateral damage from the NFL. Facts, Mega Hustle. Collateral damage. Hey, brother, we gonna drop that thing on it. I'm not gonna say the words because I've said Osama bin Johnson a little bit too many times. Okay, so if I start saying words, I'm gonna get flagged. All right. So they like, bruh, we gonna drop it like it's hot on the whole block because them projects over there in Chicago, they got to go. So we just gonna drop that thing like it's hot. Well, what about the people around there? Collateral damage, my friend. We'll all be better for it. Once the projects and everybody in it is out of the picture, then that spot we can then develop it, and it could be a green space, and then we can get some futuristic apartments up in there, and then we can raise the property value and so on and so forth. So there's collateral damage. Yeah, it's going to be a few hundred families that are displaced or ejected from the planet, but it's collateral damage, right? It's a means to an end. So they dropped that thing in Kansas City at Arrowhead to make sure that there was no one standing except for the Chiefs. That's it. That was the remaining. So yes, you are 100%. I wish that the NFL would leave each game to the refs on the field. If they have a problem with the call, then they take that up with the refs after the game, then use that to train other refs. You couldn't rig it if you did that. I'm eating. Appreciate you. Oh my goodness. I know you on that page too. I'm on that page for other reasons, but I don't ever go there. But I can imagine you being on that page, okay? The same guy that says someone please find shot. Facts. All right. All right. So that is what we had with the whole NFL situation. It's time to exercise the demons. We're going to bury the topic. We know that the NFL cheats. We know that light has been shed upon it, but nothing is going to happen unless, and this would never happen. And I think we all know why. Unless an independent investigative firm was hired to look into the NFL. But who would hire them? The owners are not going to hire them. Okay? Because contrary to popular belief, the owners don't really care about winning. Owners care about that money. Okay? Because the owners know. Example, the Cincinnati Bengals. the Cleveland Browns, the Miami Dolphins, teams that never win anything or get close to winning anything. Their owners are still billionaires. Now, everyone says we want to build a winner. Okay? And everyone talks about like this is this is the only thing that we want, the only thing we care about. What keeps Jimmy Haslam from losing his mind at the fact that his franchise is so garbage? Because he has billions of reasons to not lose his mind as he lays down on his private yacht. Right? And that's the same for every franchise that never ever wins anything. Right? Sheila Ford Hamp is a little bit different because she understands the people of Detroit because she grew up in Detroit. So she wants to do something for the people. I don't think Jimmy Haslam is from Cleveland. Jimmy Haslam, what was he? Flying J, the CEO of the trucking company, and he came in and he bought a team. So if you have owners that are from the city, they grew up in the city, the team has been in their family, and that's why they were there, and that's why they grew up there, and so on and so forth. They're going to be a little bit more passionate about winning. Yes, they're billionaires, but they're more passionate about winning. Jimmy Haslam and the people like him in the world, nah. You know what I mean? Nah. Okay. Mike, the Brown family, Mike Brown, and son of Paul Brown, who own the Cincinnati Bengals, all they're worried about is keeping their money. They're cheap as hell. And that's all they're worried about. We want to make it and we want to keep it. We don't want to spend it. I mean, look at how long it took them and the crazy thing is, right, if you have naming rights for a stadium, the people that own the stadium are being paid more money. It's crazy, right? So it took them all this time to sell the naming rights to the stadium so that they could pay their quarterback. Why did it take you so long? You are cheap and missing out on a revenue stream that you have to make that make sense. I don't know how that makes sense at all. All right. So let's get to the topic at hand. Back to the top of the hand. Well, what? I made a master plan. I'm thinking about a master plan. I got a pad and a pen in the palm of my hand. Shout out to the 80s. All right. So you're telling me there's a chance. This is an article. And obviously we know all this stuff. This is from Mike Payton. Okay. I know we don't like Mike Payton. I know Mike Payton stirs up controversy. I know Mike Payton does whatever Mike Payton does. Okay. But this says Lions safety Brian Branch plans to appeal his suspension. How that works, when the Lions will know, and the chances he plays Monday night. Now, everything else about that article, that title, we don't care about nothing but the last line and the chances he plays Monday night. We know he's appealing. I said before he should have waited to announce his appeal, but I don't know if he can wait until the middle of the week. I think he has to announce it at the beginning of the week so that they can get it done, because it's going to be an expedited review. And I don't think that there is anything that has to be reviewed. Okay, you want us to look at the video again of you punching him in the face with it open, you slapping him in the face, and then you dragging him, right? Maybe the argument is, yes, I slapped him in the face and then I walked away, but he continued the situation by running after me, and then I had to hit him with the rag doll, and then I had to get him with the 2-piece and a biscuit, because that's what he ordered, right? Don't come to KFC if you don't want a 2-piece and a biscuit. Am I right? Do not come to KFC and go through the drive-through window if you're not looking for a 2-piece and a biscuit. Because if you come to my KFC, I guess to give you a 2-piece and a biscuit. It would be rude of me not to, right? I live by the code. Don't come for me unless I send for you. So if you come to my KFC and you haven't been invited, I'm going to have to hit you with the 2-piece and the biscuit. It's the only way. It is the only way. So let's get into this article and see what he's got to talk about. It's always 2T. Oh, guys, listen. Does anybody want to contribute to my fund? I am about to order myself a JMO jersey. Why? Because it's about to get hot in my house. Okay. I can't, it's 85 degrees outside right now. Okay. I can't continue to rock this hoodie. I am going into the summer while y'all are going into the winter. That's how it works, right? Because we're on opposite sides of the hemisphere, right? So the South in Australia is the warmest part. I'm sorry. The south of Australia is the coldest part. The north is the warmest part because north of Australia is where you get closer and closer to the equator. Okay. So this summer, which is coming up, it's about to be hot. And I can't be sitting up here in this hoodie. So I'm going to have to order me a JMO jersey, or a Jahmyr Gibbs jersey. I think it's probably going to be JMO because, I am number one. No matter if you like it, just take a sit down and write it. That's significant because JMO is also from St. Louis. Nelly, the brain, it just works. They call him Klondike Don because he only dropped bars. Facts. Appreciate you. Jordy Nelson just sitting in a dark room watching BB smack the spit out of Juju over and over and over. Always summer here at FL, brother. Hey, listen, but it's about to be summer here because it was winter, and when it's winter here, a winter all through spring, like the middle of spring or the beginning of spring, whatever, these houses and insulation don't mix. So it'd be cold than a mug up in here. I still be sleeping with my electric blanket on. Okay, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know about that. Electric blankets are the truth. I didn't know about them till I came here either. All right, let me read this article. It says, as you well know by now, Detroit Lions safety Brian Branch got himself into some trouble last Sunday night when he started a brawl with Chiefs receiver Juju Smith-Schuster after the Lions 30-17 loss to Kansas City. Now, I put that on Juju. Because Juju knew he was wrong. Right? And then he got slapped because he blocked the man in the back. Now, all Juju had to do was say, you know what, you're right. I deserve that. And just been a bigger man about it. And then that should have been it. But no, Juju had to run and, Here's the thing about Juju. Juju knew he couldn't fight. Okay? He knew he couldn't fight, but he was expecting to get held back. Okay? Juju's that dude that be looking around like, hold me back. Ooh, y'all, you lucky you lucky my man holding me back. Oh, you lucky. These 5 dudes is 6, 7. I got 10 dudes now holding me back. You lucky. If these 10, where you going? Hold on, come on back. Don't go nowhere. You lucky that these 10 dudes, 8, 7, 6. I gotta go. All right. So that's Juju Smith, but he expected he was gonna get held back. And then he got up to Brian Branch and didn't find any help until he was getting ragdolled on the ground and his helmet was off. All right. It did not take the NFL long to come to its decision on how it would punish Branch. The league announced on Monday that it would suspend the Pro Bowl safety for 1 game without pay. It was announced shortly after that Branch would appeal his suspension. Let's talk about how that works and when the Lions will know if he can play on Monday. How Brian Branch's appeal will work in the NFL. Okay, let's start at the suspension point. Once the player knows that he's being suspended, he then has 3 days. Okay, boom. He should have waited till the 3rd day. Follow me, right? He has 3 days in which he must file an appeal with the NFL Players Association. So he probably found out on Monday, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, which is today, right? He should have said he was going to appeal today. Now, I do believe because it is a Monday night game, they probably, I believe that while you're, and we'll see in a minute, but what I believe is that while you're appealing the suspension, then the suspension is on hold, I would say, right? Maybe. All right. So that's where I'm going with this. If it's on hold, depending on how fast they review it, he may have been eligible to play on Monday. All right. From there, the appeal will be heard by hearing officers jointly appointed by the NFL and the NFLPA. In this case, it's 3 former players: former Buccaneers linebacker Derek Brooks, former Packers receiver Jordy Nelson, and former Steelers guard Ramon Foster. Now, also, what I would say is I don't think that this group of players has many cases to hear. So it probably would have just been expedited anyway. I don't think they're not backlogged with suspensions. Kareem Jackson, I don't think, is on a roster, so they don't have to be adjudicating a suspension for him. So yeah, I don't think it would have been too difficult to get a very, very quick hearing set up. So the chances of him playing on Monday night, I don't think we're ever there, but let's see. In the hearing, both Branch and the NFL will present their evidence, video, and even witness testimony of the event. This goes down much like a court case would for a major crime. You even bring an attorney on appeal. If not an attorney, you can bring an NFLPA rep with you. From there, a ruling is made and the suspension will be upheld, reduced, or vacated. No matter what the decision is, it is final and binding. It cannot be changed again. When will the Lions know the result of Brian Branch's appeal? They're going to know very fast. Boom. That's it. Okay, that's we're done. Okay, they're gonna know very fast. Lions head coach Dan Campbell said on 97.1 The Ticket on Wednesday morning that the Lions expect to hear the results of Branch's appeal later that day. You see what I'm saying? So we're going to know the answer on this one very quickly. So y'all will know tonight or tomorrow. What are the chances Branch wins? 0. Okay, you're not gonna like this one. The appeal for fighting. The appeals for fighting work about 10 to 15% of the time. That's just an estimate. There is no public data that shows a definitive number. There is public data if you did all of the research yourself, but you'd have to make it public, right? All right. The chances that Branch walks out of this thing scot-free are very, very low. The hope here is that he can, at the very least, get the suspension reduced to a very large fine, but 10 to 15% is hard to overcome. And these judges usually tend to just defer to what the NFL's authority is on the matter. We'll see what happens. Now, the only thing I just saw this. I'm gonna show you. I shared this with the people. Hold on, let me see if I can get this picture. Because I just saw something and I shared it in the group chat. So I want to share it with y'all. Let's see. What would be the fastest way to get this? Okay. All right. I know how to get it done. Yeah. All right. Okay. I just saw something, so I just wanted to show y'all this picture, and y'all let me know if it's perfect or not. All right. The only thing that I can think of is because the NFL now owes us, they could reduce the suspension to a very large fine. Maybe that's how they washed their hands of this entire situation. Listen, we cheated you. Yes, we did. So we will give you guys Brian Branch for this game. and he can walk away with a very large fine, which we will say that he paid and then give him the money back. That's the only way that I can see that this works out. But we know that the NFL has already dug their heels in and has said that they didn't cheat. So maybe some backdoor deals being made behind the scenes, and we'll see. That's what I'm going to. If we see that this Brian Branch suspension has been overturned and reduced to a very large fine, that's what happened. The NFL said, "All right, look, man, we did sacrifice y'all on national television, so here's what we're gonna do for you." All right, it's mid the 80s every day beautiful. I don't know. I'm like I said, I did live in Qatar for 15 years. That if I had never see another hot day, it's gonna be too soon. As you talking about mid 80s, it was mid hundreds over there. uh, what up, though, Mr. Morale 313? Why so many people think the NFL rigged? Because of what happened with the NFL lying about what they did. YouTube's working for me. Yeah. YouTube never lost. But B Shoes, you are on YouTube commenting. How is it not working? We have a Packers fan in here. So I would say be nice, but y'all do whatever y'all want to do. But if he comes in peace, you know what I mean? We'll be in peace. If you come with that BS, release the hounds. You know what I'm saying? That's how we get around here. All right, let me share this picture with y'all. Let me see. Let's see. Blah 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 blah. I still have to do the NFC North report. I haven't done any of the videos. I need to do them before tomorrow because we start week 7 tomorrow. All right. Mm-mm-mm. All right. Are y'all ready? Let me show y'all this. All right, here we go. Working on it. Work it. Move it. Do it. Faster. All right, there we go. Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. Y'all ready? I don't know if I can show it here. All right, I have to remove myself from this. Okay, hold on. There we go. You can't really see it. Damn it. Yeah, don't. It's yeah. All right, I'll show it to y'all on my phone. All right, let's remove this. All right. Here it is. I'll show it to you on the phone. It's just this. It's like a perfect like it wasn't intentional at all. Okay, y'all ready? Yeah, see it? I thought that was perfect. I thought that was perfect. He says, I'm not here to disrespect. This is all WWE, man. LMAO. You are correct. It is awesome bullish. Yeah, it's like refresh. You got to refresh your stream. YouTube work it better than the rest. It's an ad for what is it called? Bladder incontinence. And it showed up right underneath the Ben Johnson photo. I was like, yo, that's perfect. I had to put that in the group chat. All right. So yeah, that was what's going on with Brian Branch. Now, you know what we do on this show, boy. We flow, boy. But before we flow, boy, we got to check up on your dough, boy. No, I'm just playing. Hashtag if you know, use the hashtag. All right. It is time for mailbag. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they're reading you? Mailbag. Snicks. Mailbag. Get your mailbag questions in. Get them in. Bask in it. All right, get your mailbag questions in, y'all. We're gonna get this mailbag going. Now tomorrow is Thursday, so I will not be here tomorrow, but I will be back on Friday. So I do have the days correct today. We're going to do our breakdown of the game, what I expect. Obviously, we're gonna have more updated injury reports. It has been reported by Adam Schefter already. That Emeka Egbuka will be out. There's another thing that I wanted to say here. Before I get to, I'm gonna let y'all get some mailbag questions. There's another thing I wanted to say. There has been this sentiment now about the Detroit Lions schedule, and I don't know where it comes from. The reason I don't know where it comes from is this. When we saw the schedule, we all had our predictions based on the schedule. We talked about how difficult the Lions schedule was going to be. Oh my God, it was the hardest schedule ever. Now, the fact that the Ravens have lost Lamar Jackson for an extended amount of time because of a hamstring injury, and the fact that we lost to the Packers and the Chiefs, apparently we have a weak schedule and we're on fraud alert. Let's go over this schedule again. The Packers is a divisional game, so that meant it was a toss-up. Okay. We expected to sweep the division again, or we could have lost some games within the division. That is not far-fetched. People lose games within the division all the time. It is rare to sweep your division. Okay? Even the Kansas City Chiefs don't always sweep their division. So a divisional opponent beating you or not beating you is not surprising. Even when the Lions were trash, they could give you an occasional, especially in division, an occasional close game. where they gave us hope that they might be able to win some games. Even when we went 0-16, there were games where we thought we might be able to win them. That's number one. Number two, when we played the Baltimore Ravens, I'm sorry, who was number two? Number two was Chicago. Okay, nobody respected Chicago, but now Chicago has a winning record. But nobody expected Chicago to beat us, and they didn't. Number three, when we played the Ravens, they had both Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. The Ravens had a defensive problem only. Their offense was still their offense, which is why it was such a high-scoring game. We sacked Lamar Jackson 7 times. Nobody does that. So even with Lamar being healthy for game 1, 2, and 3, he wasn't sacked 7 times in a game until game number 3. Oh, by the way, that was the Detroit Lions. Game number 4 and 5, the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals was a win plus a win expected. Nobody expected the Cleveland Browns to be good. Now, the Cincinnati Bengals or the Bungles, you never know which one you're going to get, but no one thought that they would do anything against us because they don't have a defense. Everybody thought that because it was Joe Burrow, it was going to be a shootout because they weren't going to be able to stop us, and we probably wouldn't be able to stop them. And then we just didn't get Joe Burrow. We got Jake Browning. The only surprise in any of this was the Bengals because we expected to play Joe Burrow. That's why the league put it at a 425 game. America's the game of the week. Okay. Then we played the Kansas City Chiefs, which nobody thought would start off 2-3. I don't understand where the narrative is coming from. Where is this narrative coming from that the Detroit Lions now all of a sudden have this weak ass schedule and they're fraudulent because they're 4-2? Do we play with portable goalposts? Because they are always moving. They're always moving. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. If the Lions come out and have this hard ass schedule, well, people are predicting them to win 11 and 12 games, right? And get into the playoffs, still want to win the division. Okay. And if they don't win the division at 11 and 6, maybe, they can sneak into the playoffs as a wild card team. That's what was expected by a lot of people. Then, you got the two new coordinators. That's going to be hard so all of this went into people picking us to win 11 games. And I think Vegas set our over under at 10.5. But now that what happens in the NFL, unpredictability, now that happened with our schedule, the Lions are frauds and our schedule is weak. Got to make it make sense because I can't. I try, but I can't make it make sense. All right. Mailbag. Everyone knows that Brian Branch is going to be gone, and I heard Dan say that we may run 4 linebackers. Not going to happen. What does the defense look like without BB and a hobbled Kirby? Vulnerable. That's all I got, bro. Because if you expect me to talk about Harper, I don't even know his first name. What's his first name? Who he play for? Number 12, Harper. Okay, if you expect me to say Harper's going to do something with a hobbled Kirby, I mean, he had a pass breakup. It was nice. It was on Xavier Worthy. He could have a game. But then also, if we're looking at the fact that The Bucks don't have any receivers. They got Sterling Shepard, Tez Johnson. Who else? Oh, Jalen McMillan. None of those guys scare me at all. So I don't know. The defense may not look as bad as we're expecting it to look, because, as I said yesterday, it's about weakness on weakness at this point. It's not about strength on strength. It's about weakness on weakness. I still don't respect Chicago. No. Here's the thing, though, and I will say this in the NFC North report for Chicago. The Commanders are showing you why I said you shouldn't be afraid of them. I was never afraid of the Commanders. The Commanders didn't beat us. We beat ourselves. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. So don't allow yourself to be hoodwinked, bamboozled, or led astray by what you saw last year from the Washington Commanders, because we saw who the Washington Commanders, won't the real Washington Commanders please stand up? Please stand up when they went to the NFC Championship game and stood absolutely no chance. They did not belong in that game at all for any reason. The boy genius, boy wonder, Jaden Daniels didn't do not a damn thing. And they got their ass beat. When's the last time the Lions got 50 points hung on them? When's the last time that happened? I'm gonna say Philly in like 2017 or something like that. Like that's it happened to the Commanders in the NFC Championship game. I'm just saying. Joe Burrow is so overrated. Dude wasn't good enough to make it at Ohio State. Got lucky to play with an amazing college team. Always hurt. Focuses on his hairstyles instead of staying on the field. Now the thing with Ohio State, I'm gonna push back on that one and say he was too good to be a quarterback at that school, because we know what they do with quarterbacks at that school. Absolutely nothing. Okay. And if you go to that school and you play quarterback, you will not make it in the NFL. See CJ Stroud. I'm just saying, he's the best one to ever come out of there, and he's struggling. Didn't I say that playing the Chiefs was a lose-lose situation? If we beat them, I would have been on the Chiefs. Ain't good this year. Yeah. Yes, you did. You said that. But our entire schedule is now a lose-lose situation. Oh, the Ravens aren't even that good. Oh, you lost to the Packers. The Packers are the only good team you played. Oh, you lost to the Chiefs. The Chiefs weren't that good. We're 4-2. I mean, I don't know what else to say. What up, though, Zach J? No, he wasn't. CJ Stroud was better. Kid grounded in his faith, not bling bling and taking picks like Burrow. As someone pointed out, CJ Stroud has sucked since he tried the little bro Caleb Williams. I cannot deny. I cannot disagree. He told that man, everything you already got is already inside you. What? I think he meant everything you need is already inside you. I think that's where he was going with it. But he was too preoccupied with giving free game. And now they suck. So the last team to score 50 on the Lions was the Seahawks in 2022. Did they score 50 on us in 2022? Okay. All right. Well, it was a lot sooner than I thought. But, however, it was not last year, and it was not in the NFC Championship yet. Oh, so the human I don't care about. I don't care about any of these humans. y'all play football. I mean, as human beings, you know what I mean? Like, what you do in your spare time is what you do, as long as you're not like a murderer or a sex offender, or a woman beater. Like, as long as you're not a scumbag, you play football. Yes, he's cringe. He's cringe. But if you tell me that Joe Burrow is not a better quarterback than CJ Stroud, quarterback, we're not talking about human beings, I can't agree with you. I cannot. CJ Gardner Johnson. Well, CJ Gardner Johnson is not the answer here, my friend. I'm sorry. CJ Gardner Johnson was playing on the same team as CJ Stroud, and they cut one of them. Can you tell me which one it was? You have to be on the field to be a better QB. No, you don't. No, you don't. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about talent. We're not talking about availability. We're talking about talent, right? So in that case, Kyle Allen is a better quarterback than Joe Burrow because Kyle Allen is available to play every game. Nah, nope. we're not doing that one. I'm not doing that one with you. That we're not talking about availability. We're talking about skill. Skill as a quarterback. Joe Burrow is much more feared. Listen, if you would have thrown 5 interceptions to Joe Burrow's team with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and Joe Burrow didn't throw you any back, but actually he did. CJ Stroud threw us 2 back. Okay. Do you think we still would have won that game? Probably not. Bro, say you swear Burrow not better than you lost some credibility, but dog. Are you got to be talking to Mr. Detroit City? I said Burrow is better than Stroud. I didn't say the other thing. I'd rather have a good dude who clocks in every day and is grounded, not some part-time lover. Let's let Joey put together some full seasons. Who is a better quarterback? I'm not talking like who has a better skill set as a quarterback. Forget everything else. Forget personal biases. Forget everything. As a quarterback, if you're saying Joe Burrow is healthy, CJ Stroud is healthy, who would you rather not play? I'd rather not face Joe Burrow. Right? So here's the thing. Oh, yes, we're playing Joe Burrow's backup. And, oh, we're playing CJ Stroud's backup. We were going to beat him either way. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? That's the difference. Imagine running your mouth so much that you go from being a starting safety for the Super Bowl winners to not even being able to stick to a practice squad. Well, yeah, that's GJ. Mailbag. We know Melvin likes to shop at the Dollar Tree, Dollar General. What practice squad on the couch players will we bring in to patch up the secondary? Well, we have already brought in Arthur Mollett, who just wears a bunch of wristbands all up his arms for no reason. We brought in Kendall Fuller, who is promising. I mean, I don't know who else can we bring in? You know what I mean? Like it's all thin. It's all thin and not looking great right now. You can just plug somebody in. Somebody's going to be on the couch, and that's where we're going to get them from. Somebody's going to be on the practice squad, and that's where we're going to get them from. Because there is nobody left to go get who would be worth anything. Of course, we keep hearing the name Asante Samuel Jr. What are the results of his surgery? That's what I need to know. You know, because if he's just going to be a Levi Onwuzurike, or if he's going to be just a guy who can't play, right? Like Marcus Davenport, then that's not giving us any help. Burrow isn't on the field and struggles to be on the field. Nobody says CJ is more skilled. That's all we're talking about. That's it. We're just talking about skill. That's what I'm talking about. That was the crux of the conversation. We're not talking about who's playing. We're talking about who's got a better skill set. That's all. That's what I wanted you to say. As long as you tell me that Joe Burrow has a better skill set, that's all. Right? If you catch Joe Burrow game number 1, he's probably going to finish the game. Right? After that, it's all up in the air. Okay? So if you got to play Cincinnati game number 1, you're going to have to face Joe Burrow. 2 through 17, who knows? I don't play with hypothetically saying Burrow is healthy for a season when he struggles to do that. I'm not saying if he's healthy for a season. I'm saying when the two players are healthy, which one would you rather play? That's all. He's healthy at some point in the season. I'm not saying he has to be healthy for a whole season. I'm saying for one game, which player would you rather play? And you'd rather play CJ Stroud because he's not as good as Joe Burrow. That's my point. No, I never said that. I never said that at all. I don't even like CJ Stroud. He went to a hell no state. He's a quarterback there. Right? We can bring in Bobby Boucher just in time for the Bourbon Bowl. No, I just don't do ifs and buts. I've had so many employees who have very high skill level and very diverse, and their ability struggle to show up with consistency. I come from a management angle. I'm coming from just a player skill angle. I got where you're coming from, but who is the better quarterback? That is it. That is it, because neither one of these players is in our division, and neither one of these players do we have to deal with every season. So I'm just saying who's better at quarterbacking. That's all. Pick up CJ GJ, have him late hit Mayfield or someone so he gets ejected, then cut him. We don't need any more penalties. We don't need any more penalties. We don't. If I'm playing Madden, I'll take Burrow. So no doubt, I'm not dumb. Okay, cool. All right. If I'm running Madden, I'm taking CeeDee Lamb all day over St. Brown, etc. In Madden, yes. I mean, in real life, they're very comparable players. Because Madden doesn't have the ability to take into account intangibles. All right. So yes, again, guys, if y'all want to donate to my JMO jersey, send in a super chat. But I'm definitely gonna have to get it before the end of this month because it's about to get hot. Like I said, it's 80 degrees today, 85 degrees. So I got to make sure that I go ahead and get that jersey done. Let's see here. Yep. All right. Go over here. Go over here. All right. So before I go, you already know. You know what we do on this show, boy. We flow, boy. But before we flow, boy, we're checking up on your dough, boy. Joe Burrow definitely likes to watch. I don't even know if that's his girlfriend, bro. I don't know. Watches from the Batmobile. He actually didn't finish the purchase of the Batmobile because someone broke into his house. I just got the black Gibbs jersey Saturday. All right, that's what's up. I got to get the black JMO jersey because, it goes with my aesthetic. I'm talking about. Get that shrimp on the Bobby. Shout out Outback Steakhouse. Outback Steakhouse is an American restaurant. There is no Outback Steakhouse here. Yeah. I found that out when I was in Qatar. And my wife, because we used to go to Outback Steakhouse all the time, my wife told me there is no Outback Steakhouse here, and she is correct. All right, y'all. I'm gonna have to get up out of here. So again, I will not be here tomorrow. I got the days together now. Okay, tomorrow is Thursday for y'all. It's Friday for me. Okay, so I will not be here tomorrow, but I will be back on Thursday. If you have not yet subscribed to the Motor City Cats, we got 150 people up in here watching, and I know y'all ain't all subscribed. So go ahead, click that link and go subscribe to the Motor City Cats. Instead of, I make it easy for you. Instead of me asking you to go over there and navigate and type in anything, all you got to do is click the link. Click the link, smash the like button, hit subscribe, share it with your peoples. That's all you got to do for me, baby. Oh, you're missing out. When you go to Outback Steakhouse, make sure you get the Alice Springs chicken. Alice Springs chicken. Expensive immediate. It's not expensive. Well, I mean, I had it in Qatar, so if it was going to be expensive, it would have been expensive there. So, but it also was better in Qatar. It's probably just like the Philly cheesesteaks at Chili's were better in Qatar than Philly cheesesteaks in Philly because they are ass. Okay. If you've never had a Philly cheesesteak and you're like, oh, I'm going to Philly, and you know, when we play the Eagles, and don't get a Philly cheesesteak. You will be disappointed. It's absolute garbage. Okay. Absolute garbage. The Bloomin' Onion slaps. Okay. That Bloomin' sauce, it slaps. All right. I got to get out of here. All right, the Motor City Cats R&D back at it. We came to give you stats and none of that static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And we are out. Peace. Go ahead and subscribe to Motor City Cats if you have not done that. Outing.